Hello, I'm Georgia Calvin-Smith and welcome to Across Africa, France 24's weekly roundup from across the continent. This week, in an exclusive interview, the young girl whose alleged gang rape sparked rare protests in Chad's capital tells France 24 of her hopes for justice. Some of the 5 she accuses of the attack hail from prestigious military families. Also, swept away. Having lost everything in a series of tidal waves, families from a Ghanaian coastal community say that they're on the front line of climate change and urge authorities not to abandon them to the elements. And a step back in time. Conservationists in South Africa believe a selective breeding program may have brought a subspecies of zebra back from extinction. The Quagga first disappeared in the 19th century. France 24 has spoken to the young Chadian girl whose alleged gang rape sparked fatal protests in N'Djamena, in which one person was killed. Several people were arrested in connection to the case during the week. The men accused of carrying out the attack reportedly posted an online video of their crying victim not long after her ordeal. Nicolas Chemin has the story.
Zuhura is the young woman whose story has shocked the Chadian nation. She was sexually assaulted earlier this month.
They took me to a place I'd never seen before. They took my clothes off. They took pictures of me. They were having fun and laughing at me.
Her attackers posted a video online of her naked and in tears.
They told me not to say anything, otherwise they would do this again and put the pictures on social media. But when I got home, I told my parents. I just had to. Now, I just want justice. And I don't want this to happen ever again.
Her case has repercussions for Chad's elite. Several young men have been arrested. One of them is the son of the Foreign Affairs Minister. The others are the sons of generals. On Monday, many Chadians protested against the young woman's sexual assault. One demonstrator was shot dead by the police.
The security forces involved in this case will be arrested and will face justice.
After Zuhura's assault, President Idriss Déby denounced an atrocious act and said those responsible would be punished.
In Ghana, hundreds have been forced from their homes this month as tidal waves hit coastal communities. The town of Fuvemi was one of the worst affected. Some of those who lost everything there are worried that the risks of seaside living will continue to stack up as sea levels keep rising. Our correspondent sent us this report.
This amateur footage shows the moment a tidal wave crashed into a coastal community in southeast Ghana. This was one of the smaller ones in a series of waves that would devastate the town. This local government building got off relatively lightly. Bafiyara's home has been destroyed.
We have lost everything. Everything is destroyed. My children and I are stranded. We have been submerged. My family don't even know where to sleep. We don't know what to do.
Fuvemi is a small fishing community on Ghana's southern coast. Around 1,000 people live here. The majority of those are now homeless.
Here is the hall, the sitting room, and the kitchen beside it, and my bathroom.
John Doe, his wife and 3 children are now staying with friends. He blames rising sea levels for the destruction of his home.
Where the sea was before I started this project is far away from my building. But within just about 2 years, and to my realization, my house is now part of the sea.
Local government has promised to help. So far, no assistance has arrived, but it's not only short-term shelters that are urgently needed here.
We need the government to dredge the sand and build a sea defense. It would mean we could stay in our homes.
Government sea defence plans have been approved back in 2013, but they're still not funded. For now, these residents can only hope the sea doesn't strike again.
Now, he may not have Africa's backing, but Tokyo Sewale is still hoping to become the continent's first FIFA president. His bid to lead the international footballing governing body took a blow when the Confederation for African Football decided to support the president of the Asian Football Confederation. Well, our correspondents met with Sewale in Johannesburg to discuss his game plan in the face of adversity.
Constantly travelling, he's on a mission to create new ties so that his name can be known around the world. This South African candidate for FIFA's highest post is a successful businessman with bodyguards at his side 24/7. He's known for his wealth and feared for his straightforwardness.
Money has started to flow.
In the campaign?
We are told. And we will want to be transparent, investing, and people betray one another. You know, once money starts, and it is not enough, and this one gave you, I was not giving her. I hope it's not true. Like all investigations, this one will come as well.
Sewale is proud to be one of the few South African officials who helped to organize the 2010 FIFA World Cup without being suspected of corruption. He says that FIFA will only survive if it runs transparently.
That's why one of the things that I have proposed in my manifesto is an international advisory council of independent, very prominent and credible figures to be able to watch over FIFA.
South Africa's oldest generation respects and admires Sewale for the role he played during apartheid. This anti-apartheid militant spent 12 years on Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. Sewale even formed a soccer team while behind bars. But at the age of 62, Sewale is still determined as ever to clean up the game he is so passionate about.
I don't know why people clean. Are you cleaning? Make sure this
Flying into meetings and flying out again on the same day, Tokyo Sewale spares no effort to stay on top of his game.
Now, conservationists not far from Cape Town are hoping to build on the progress made so far in a selective breeding program aimed at bringing back an extinct subspecies of zebra. The quagga was hunted out of existence over a century ago, but decades of painstaking matchmaking may have given it another shot. The project currently has over 100 animals, with 6 of them being the 5th generation since the program began.
The quagga, a partly striped subspecies of zebra, was entirely wiped out by colonial hunters in the 19th century. But now, a small group of scientists and conservationists believe they have recreated the animal on a private nature reserve just 2 hours north of Cape Town.
We are trying to breed back the quagga that became extinct through hunting many hundreds of years ago.
The last original quagga died in a zoo in Amsterdam in 1883, and critics are curious why anyone would want to resurrect the animal.
So it's an attempt to try and repair, if you like, an ecological damage that was done a long time ago in some sort of small way, and also to try and get a representation back of a charismatic animal that used to live in South Africa.
Over a period of 30 years, the Quagga project has used selective breeding of plain zebra to produce an animal they say is indistinguishable from those that roamed the same plains centuries ago.
We do this through selective breeding. We actively go out, select ones with less striping and put them together in breeding groups. And there we concentrate the unstripy gene, and each animal has got less and less stripes every generation.
Others claim this is an unnecessary interference with nature and unlikely to produce a genuine quagga.
The DNA showed that it was, in fact, the same species as the plain zebra because it was identical. And so it would have, we would call it a variety, subspecies if you like, of the plain zebra, but certainly not a different species. If it had been a different species, then the whole project would have been scientifically not justifiable.
While critics question the process and intent, it is hard to argue with the result. The project currently has over 100 animals, with 6 of these animals in the 5th generation since the breeding program began.
Now to Addis Ababa, where former supermodel Anna Getane is trying to foster local talent. While she walked the runways of Paris and New York in the 90s, she's now an entrepreneur with her own fashion studio, trying to inspire other African designers one show at a time.
Putting on the final touches before the show, Former Ethiopian supermodel Anna Getane launched her own fashion brand to inspire local talents.
We support other designers, we mentor, we train, but at the same time, we're also building our own label, which also falls under the same category. It's important for me to source all my fabrics from Africa, to work with African talent, meaning designers, artisans, craftsmen.
On the catwalk, Getane's own label, Mosaic, is represented, as well as other African fashion designers. For many of them, this is a rare opportunity to showcase their work.
Africa has such a amazing talent. So I think being an African designer, I'm so proud to show to the world that Africa can do more than what we expected. And we are here in Addis Ababa to show to the world that we can do.
This is one of several events bringing together models with an international career. Africa has produced several world-class models, and the continent is now pushing to make a name for itself in fashion design.
Well, that's it for Across Africa this time. Thanks very much for joining us, and please do so again if you can. Till next time, take care.